Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Timeless Talk, and my name is Karen Hasasha. Timeless Talk is a space where we foster conversations on the creative industry and the difference that is being made therein. For the past few weeks, we've been on a journey, which we have dubbed the Road to Poto. That is the road to the Phantom of the Opera, the biggest theater production that Uganda has ever seen yet. I'm even saying it in doubles because I'm just so excited. In a week, it will be opening night of the Phantom of the Opera, Uganda. And so on this journey, we've had some conversations where we introduce the Phantoms, we introduce the Christines, we will soon introduce the Rauls. But today we have a special conversation. Before we delve into that conversation, I'd like to share that the Phantom of the Opera this time is supporting the cause of Special Olympics Uganda. Special Olympics Uganda is an organization that is a chapter of Special Olympics International. Special Olympics creates an opportunity for persons with intellectual disability to have a semblance of normalcy in their lives through sport. We have so many Ugandans going to the Olympics to represent us. And so many of them have brought back medals from the Special Olympics to no acknowledgement whatsoever. Persons with intellectual disability in Uganda struggle with stigma, and their families too. And so, through the Phantom of the Opera, we would like to highlight the work that they're doing and better mental health for their parents, families, and caregivers. And that is why we're here. But behind all that, and behind the artists, behind the producers, and behind our whole team, is a group of special people called the executive producers. The executive producers use their networks and their net worth to bring support and resources to the work that we're trying to do to highlight these social causes. Today, join me for a special conversation with our top executive producers. Welcome to Timeless Talk.
It was nice coming in, found the guys dancing, rehearsing, touching up, asking them some hard questions. Then of course as you get down, you see the costumes and you realize that it's coming to life.
Yes.
I saw the Centurion helmet and I was thinking,
Did you try it on?
I wanted to,
Okay.
but I was wearing a hat, so but I really, really wanted to touch it. Like I've always wanted to touch this. So I did touch it, but yeah, it was pretty nice.
I think I spied with my eyes someone trying it on. Someone has photos, but he's not saying anything.
I tried it on. It's quite heavy.
Yeah.
It's very heavy.
Yeah.
You can't resist trying it on because you grow up watching movies and plays with those costumes, and you really want to know what they feel like. So
I never thought I'd ever see one in real.
And it's like the real deal, right?
Yes.
And we actually have the breastplate around as well. So you could have actually tried on the full thing if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So rehearsals are going strong. It's just a week too. A week too. Can you believe it?
Week.
Yeah, we just have a week.
Wow.
Just a opening night. How does that feel?
It's scary, but I think the team that we're working with you're very confident in what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you're actually excited to get to that point where guys will be wowed again, that wow moment once more for everyone, where they feel like, we didn't know that we had this talent in Uganda.
Yeah, it's very scary. KK, what do you think?
I am actually very anxious. I am. The budget here is much bigger.
Yep.
The cast is much bigger.
Yes.
Technically, this production is more demanding.
Yes.
I'm only comforted by the fact that we've tried this before and succeeded.
Yes.
Let's wait and see. An orchestra, and a big cast.
It's a team of about 135.
Yeah.
On any given day, it may go to 150. Oh, you caught us in the middle of quite an interesting conversation that we are very happy to welcome you to. Welcome to Timeless Talk. And today I'm honored, beyond honored actually, to have two amazing gentlemen in the house. I call them EPs For those of you who don't know, those are our executive producers, and we are going to delve deeper into who they are and what they're doing on this journey. We are here on the journey to the Phantom of the Opera. We call it the journey to Poto, or rather the road to Poto. And today we're going to have an interesting conversation because with the nature of our work, everyone often wonders how we get it done, where the money comes from, and who else should come on board to support us. So today, I'm going to allow these gentlemen, like I always do, I allow everyone to introduce themselves, but I'm going to allow them to honor me by introducing themselves, and then we will jump right into this conversation. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
So let's see who's going to go first.
I think I'm at your immediate right.
I knew you would do that. I knew you would
To
do
the
that.
immediate, to the immediate
I
right.
knew you would do that. But anyway, so since he's our senior, we'll let him go
We'll
last.
let him go last.
And
Okay,
honor
no
him.
problem.
So yeah.
Christopher Segawa Nantagya, a banker for the last 13 years with one of the banks in Uganda. Now working outside Uganda, still with the same bank, but a big fan of performing arts and supporting artists and supporting it as a talent, developing that talent in younger people, and for them not to let the talent go to waste. So I'm really happy and excited to be part of this, whether it's just this production or even other productions that we've done with Timeless Arts and with Karen in the past.
Happy to have you here today.
Thank you.
And now we'll go over to you.
Yeah, my name is Kabiito Karamagi. I'm an advocate of many years standing. I specialize in insolvency, so I'm a registered insolvency practitioner in Uganda. Like Chris, I am passionate about theater. It's a passion that I think I'd forgotten, rekindled a few years back, and it's been a nice, interesting journey. I'm happy to share my experience.
Oh, we're so glad to have you here. We call you KK.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Kabi.
Some Kabi.
That's, I don't know. The names will.
Which one should we use today?
KK is new, and there are too many KKs, I guess.
Yeah.
Kabi is much older. He started in school.
Okay.
So it's a lot of my friends call me that. But
Kabi.
I mean, whatever is comfortable, as long as it's not offensive.
No
Okay,
problem.
I have
good.
permission to call you Kabi today. I often find it difficult to even call you KK, to call you Kabi. Like, I just feel like I respect you so much that I just say EP. I'm like, sometimes I'm even afraid when I'm writing a message. I'm like, what do I say?
What do I
I can't just say, hi, Kabi. No. So, thank you for giving me permission to call you Kabi today.
And you have it always.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we've walked this journey for the past, this is the third year running that Timeless Arts is in the business of putting on amazing theater productions. We call them high-end theater productions for philanthropy, social causes, and highlighting, the plight of so many people who just don't have the privilege of living a beautiful and normal life like many people do. And so we've been doing that since our first show that was in 2022. We started the journey in 2021, and I remember that's when I met you, Kabi. And then in the process around 2022, I met you, Chris, in that process. So we've been on this journey together for the past, now it's going to be 3 years, And what many people have been curious about, and some of the things they think about our productions, is that we have loads of money. When they see the work and they see the quality of work that we do, they think we have loads and loads of money, and they think it's just flowing in from somewhere, in this secret place. But so because you guys have been there and you've been part of the executive producing team in this whole process, it's important that everyone who's with us on this journey and who's coming on board, or the artists out there, it's important that they understand what executive producing means. And so we'll start by exploring that. What has this journey meant to you as an executive producer, and what do you understand about being an executive producer? We'll start with you, Kabi.
Okay. For me, the exercise has been quite interesting in terms of what you can do and how far you can go. As an executive producer, it became clear to me that you take responsibility for the success of the production by finding those resources that the production team needs to hold a successful place. So the producer, identifies the talent, gets the rehearsal schedule, and you as the executive producer are really out to look for the resources.
Yes.
And how have we been doing this? These have not really been personal resources. We've turned to networks of friends to sell the idea of something new, because high-end productions have not been a common theme on our calendar here. So we've had to go to our network of friends, network of clients, seek sponsorship. And so that is how this has been achieved. In a certain sense, we have to make sure that this is successful because we also underwrite the process. Should there be a shortfall, then we take responsibility for it. Now, we do not want that because when that touches our wallet. So we work hard to reach out to our network of friends. That's how we've been doing this. Network of clients, sometimes even people we really don't know, some casual friends, colleagues, and we go out and some are not really convinced of what you're doing, but they are supportive because you have approached them. And then when they see the product, they've come around to support it even more. That's been how, at least I have done it.
And you, Chris?
I think for me, the part of an executive producer, and Karen, we've had this conversation, for me is the underwriting of the production, of taking that responsibility to underwrite it. It's a very big responsibility and a very big burden, but it's not borne by your pockets per se. It is borne by you tapping into your network and getting them to buy into what you say. Because so many people out there want to be part of the good causes. And normally it's at the tail end of the good causes when we hear a good story, when you hear about maybe a team that was going to attend a tournament to represent any organization, and they had to struggle to get there by bus and blah, blah, blah. At the end of it, when you feel like, I wish I could have done something to help them. Maybe I could have, maybe 1 million could have provided fuel for the bus to get them to the tournament. Or when you hear that a team missed the tournament because of ABCD. And what we're doing here is we're providing that avenue for people to get involved in this charity work, but while putting a very good product before them. But more than anything, supporting these talented individuals to actually see that there are many people. I mean, I have a sports background. And I played sports with so many people, but along the way, so many people jumped out of sports because it couldn't pay the bills, right? But if we continue to let performing arts go into, put together, productions, just making ends meet, we need to get into that high-end production, because then we're supporting a much bigger pool of talent within the country. And this production, straight from the Merchant of Venice, we've just been going from strength to strength. And I honestly thought that what we did with My Fair Lady was the epitome of it. I said, I don't think I can go any higher. But that's the good thing of being an EP. You're not a producer, so you don't know what is good. You only know how to get it done, how to help the producer bring their dream alive and get it done. But you leave the producer to do the work that they know best. So while for me I thought that's the epitome, you can't get any better than that. Karen says, no, you're actually getting bigger and better this year.
Yes, and when we went for the Phantom of the Opera, that's like the biggest production ever to go for, even internationally. I always say that Hamilton is competing, and right now everyone is on, on the back of Hamilton, but the Phantom of the Opera is very scary, and it's very big. And the other day I was explaining to someone and saying, if we do not get costume money, we're going to have to use our bed sheets to get these costumes done. But that was just to show them that it's extremely important that what we do is of a certain quality, and that means that it requires a certain amount of money. And everyone who's constantly thinking that, these people have money, they have a secret person they're whispering to, somewhere needs to understand what it means to be an executive producer. And I think that people need to understand that they can actually do it.
Yes,
It's something
yes,
they can come
yes,
on board
yes,
to do, because if you
yes.
have your networks and you tap into them, there are people, the other day we were talking, Chris, and we're like, there are people who can just make like 10 phone calls in an hour,
Yeah.
and they will have certain, like 25 million,
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
million, just
Yes.
from
Committed.
those-
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And those are the kind of people we are looking for, right?
Yes.
Is that what we're looking for?
Yes. That old adage that has been coming up again and again, your net worth is
Your network is
your
your
network is your net worth.
Yes.
I think it comes out beautifully to life here. Your ability to pick up a phone and call somebody and have that person, put up cash. Some people really don't even ask. They're like, yeah, for you, whatever it is, bro, we are with you.
Yeah.
But honestly, I can't sit here and say Chris and I have the best network. Our net worth is deep, far from it. So there are guys who can do this even better.
They're out there.
Yeah.
So how do you think we can get to these guys?
I guess for me, we have a beautiful model. One, we are creating employment opportunities. I think for us in our marketing course, or at least as far as I do, that's what I emphasize. We have people that can do this and earn from it, but they don't because they don't have the opportunity. So we are creating that opportunity for them. So we're not giving them money.
Yeah.
They're actually working for it
Yes.
by giving us an alternative form of entertainment, like you would just go for a concert.
And they work
And they work really hard. Production takes about 6 months to mature.
Yes.
So that's paying this individual or this team for the time. They are rehearsing, feeding them, giving them an allowance to go back and come for the rehearsal.
Yes.
So that has to be paid for.
Yes.
And then, so that's the one part that even at a national level, we're creating an employment opportunity. So we're playing a very important national role.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the one part. The other is to attach it to a particular cause, so then you can tap into the philanthropic pockets of the sponsors, of other people. Yeah, because you see, for theater and in the manner that we're putting it up, it's very easy for anyone to think this is high end, it's for a certain class and so on. I don't need to go.
Yeah.
The way you probably wouldn't want to go to a concert because of a large crowd. You prefer a private show maybe.
Yes.
But when you attach a cause to it, then you have a partnership that brings theater actors and this to all work together.
Yes.
And that's how we've been selling it.
Yes.
Now, of course, there are many bright people that may think it differently. Let's hear your views.
Yeah, come on.
Let's how can we do it better?
Yes.
That's a question for us to answer. It's a discussion to have.
Yes, definitely. And Chris, of course, there are different age groups, and the younger people, corporates and the like, your peers, would probably think that this is not something they can do.
Yeah.
You've been in sport for a long time.
Yeah.
And so that's where you work. That's how we actually got you involved in this, because you understood it from that front. But what do you think we can do to tap into the corporates, the young people, so that they can also come on board and support this?
I think it's that ability. The younger corporates. I mean, the younger corporates sit, and some of the money that young corporates will spend, you actually realize it's not a lot of money to them. Some of the monies that we actually need to put these productions together is not a lot, but they just don't have that cause enough. What our productions do for them when they attend them, whether it's at the Serena, at the Premier, or at the National Theatre, people leave and they're like, wow, I did not know that was actually possible.
Yeah.
And it's in that moment. Don't ignore that feeling. It's that feeling that lets you get in touch with. I think all our marketing, all our flyers have contacts in there. That's the moment that you need to seize and say, here's my 200,000 to this cause.
Yes.
I'm happy for that. And that's, I think what's also key is that people need to appreciate that it's not that it's a collective effort.
Yeah.
that will later come together and put this together. So the younger corporates need to know that they can get involved at that stage, but it may not even be that stage, maybe with their own companies. You could know that your company is, this year we're doing, Special Olympics.
Yes.
Your company could have a drive to do something into sports this year, and they're happy to get involved. So why not get involved? We're actually doing something for the company. You could invite your clients, you could invite your stakeholders, you could invite your directors, and at the same time, give to this cause.
Yes.
So I think that's the other side of things that people don't understand, that as EPs, we are not putting up money.
Yeah.
We're putting up our network, and the network comes from anyone that you know.
Yeah.
You may not even be a corporate, but you could just have the network in banking, in business, and that could be where you could bring people on board to partner in these productions to help out. It could be that maybe you know someone in the Kwagalana group, or you have a way into the Kwagalana group, and you're going to tell them, guys, I want us to cover this. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not billionaires at this table that, no, we're just saying, okay, and even on most of the calls that we have, while we're talking, we say, who knows someone from this company?
Yeah.
And then someone goes like,
someone says, I know someone.
I know someone who knows someone. And before you know it, that's a lead, and we have a commitment. And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
So when people watch our productions, it should not be, you may not even be able to commit as on a personal level, but you could be able to commit to get us into a meeting where we will get someone to support.
Yeah,
and I
we've
think
had
that's what the
many of
younger
those.
people should actually look.
Yeah, we've had many of those. We've had those opportunities where someone just arranges the meeting, and we always say that we are ready to walk into any meeting. Yeah. That's what I usually tell them, that just make the link and I'll walk into the meeting and I'll sell.
And that I can confirm.
That we've done that several
I can
times.
confirm, Karen has no problem. Just arrange the meeting and let her know.
Yes, because if I walk in just as Karen, everyone, they go like, okay, so who's Karen?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so in this process, we are working to make sure that opportunities are created for us to sell what we are doing to people who have no idea. Yeah. And the biggest challenge with the entertainment business is that when people are putting money into it or investing, it's not that they're going to get an actual financial return. So on a certain level, we are also looking for know that their money changes. I was telling Keke that on one of those days we had one of our guys call in and say he sent a message actually to my partner in the business and said, I'm going to be late, because they communicate. We have a lot of discipline in our rehearsals. And so if you're going to be late, we start at 8 a.m. on the days we rehearse. And so if you're going to be late, you must communicate. So he communicated, and he does not come late at all, this particular gentleman. And he communicated and said, I'm going to be delayed. And she was concerned and said, why? He said, because I'm walking to come to rehearsal. And she wondered.
Walking from Busega?
Yes, from Busega.
Yeah.
To Ndere Center. So you imagine the distance from Busega to getting here. And I can tell you that every time I hear things like that, I personally burst out crying, because I cannot imagine the commitment that these people have. And yet we always say that math is not mathing, because we would like to pay people salaries for the duration that you're with us. But then there's also the question that when that time ends, what next for these people? So they've been in a production for 6 months. Their lives have taken a little bit of a change, a positive change. But then after that, what next? And all that is determined by finances.
Yes.
That's really the gist.
And you Karen, you highlight something that Chris also talked about. You see, if someone has made such a commitment, you want to then find out, but what's he really cooking? So I totally understand. High-end theater is a new thing in this town. We haven't had this since the days of Alex Mukulu, and before that, probably back in the 60s. Yeah. So I totally get it. But if there was a new alcoholic drink in town, everyone would be testing it. Okay, not everyone. Many of you.
Okay, many people. Yes.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. I'm only just saying that, how about just right? The taste of the taste of the pudding.
Of this new.
Of the pudding is in the eating.
Yes.
Come and see, then determine whether you like it or not. But we want to guarantee that your life, you will be hooked. So you know, show up. Just show up. Just find out. That's the first part. The other that I would like also to talk about is, you know, everyone talks about money. It is certainly important. But again, I want to highlight your own presence. Think about the person you say, I can make a call and give you that link. But even for the causes that we have, you know, pass on the word. Social media, it doesn't cost you much.
Yeah.
You know, play your role in this. It's a beautiful all round. So what I'm asking is that, trying to say is that it's not just money. Your show up, your personal presence may be far more important than that money, by the way. Because you open up your own network.
Yes.
And we make this so much easier for the production team, for the person who now doesn't have to walk all the way from Busega, and so on and so on.
And I think that it's very key what you say, KK, because showing up and given how generally entertainment as a whole, people, I mean, I remember when certain events, I've mentioned it, Blankets and Wines, when it first started, there was a handful of people meeting at, I think, the Uganda Museum, you know. And then because people kept showing up, it creates a FOMO.
Yes.
Then everyone gets interested. So you may not be able to actually put that money at hand, but you want to come and enjoy the event. Go on, make that commitment and show up. Come in and enjoy it. As you enjoy it, you build the numbers. When you build the numbers, you create it, the event begins to market itself.
Yes.
So by you saying, I want support, it just show up.
Yeah.
Just show up, let the event market itself. And it creates the way entertainment works.
Yes.
People don't want to have nothing to talk about on Monday morning at the office if everyone's talking about it. They want to be part of that event.
Yes.
They want to be able to take, photos and share them on the socials like, Kavya said. Like, for me, I think that's where people forget that their part is so much easier. And so you can actually sit at home and be an EP in your own right.
Yes.
You don't have to come here and have the title.
Yes.
But speaking of the talent that you see, when we show up for rehearsals and when as the EPs, when you show up to watch the rehearsals, I already told you guys I try to keep as little attention.
Yes.
I'm going to say as little attention as I can, because I don't want to spoil
The final product.
The final product. I want to show up at the premiere and just realize I don't know anything about the play. I've been avoiding any YouTube videos about the play. I've been avoiding any musicals about the play. I don't want to watch anything about it. Because I want to see it for the first time. I know it's, I think, showing in Dubai and in London. And that's the spectacle that we're putting here. This is a show that we brought to Uganda, but it's showing, I don't know if it's still running in Dubai. It's running in Dubai.
China, right now. The team from Dubai has moved to China.
It's showing in London as well.
Yes.
But you can actually, you have it next door here in Uganda. I mean, that's massive. But the actors that are running this production are that committed to it. They're that disciplined. It's not something they're doing for fun.
Yes.
This is like, you wake up, if you're an accountant, you wake up
And you have
balance
that number.
Yeah. This guy is balancing the books. If you're a lawyer, you wake up and
cut that sentence.
Exactly.
Yes.
These guys are doing that. They don't, I mean, when you see them, when you come for rehearsals, you realize that they're not just doing, fun, and then they actually, it's something that sport has not even been able to achieve, making it professional.
Yeah.
Now the arts are getting professional, but I think the funding and the support is lagging behind.
Yes.
In sport, the funding is going ahead of the professionalism of the sport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the funding is actually available in sport, but the professionalism is not yet there, in the sense that people they'll do their 8 to 5 and then go for training. They're not going to wake up at 8 and go into the gym and then go to train at 1 and so that's not yet there. So for entertainment, the commitment is already there.
Yeah.
The guys are coming at 5, they're rehearsing till 4, 5 o'clock and going back home.
I found that artists have such great hope. They have such great hope. They believe that tomorrow it's going to work out. They believe that the next day it's going to work out. Whether if I can just get a meal for today, and if I can just get some transport to where I need to be, I'll be okay. They're not even thinking big like corporates are thinking, I need to buy land. I need to, I don't know. They're not thinking that far. They're just thinking, how best can I use the talent that I have? And when I use it, so many other people around me are going to be happy. And they're going to enjoy. And then you get that, let's say, standing ovation, and they're like, that's enough for me. I did my best today. And they go back home. They have transport, they have a meal for the day, and they go back home. Imagine the simplicity of living like that. And yet so much more for them. And so that is what I've found, and that you gentlemen are doing in supporting us. And I remember I personally used to pray and say, I want a destiny helper. Like, I'm looking for a destiny helper. I consider you guys destiny helpers because of you guys we're able to work. Honestly speaking, because of these gentlemen and another support group that's behind them, we are able to wake up every day and go to work. And that is what so many people are going throughout the part of the Poto cast. Those are the things that they're saying and believing. And so at this point, I often wonder, what can we do that is solid and can have, we say money is important, we say other things that support people, these people to do what they're doing are important, but what can we do to put something in place that they can tap into, let's say, for the next 1 year? Because we're looking at what's next for them.
Yeah, what's next?
What can we do?
I think, Karen, for me, the answer to that question is, we are going to go through the normal growth pattern. Sit, crawl, start walking, run, same with the whole digestive system. Eat, mommy's milk, then, mashed potatoes before the meat. It's a journey that we're going to have to do. Let's just also understand, in a sense, that we're pioneers. We're opening up this industry. We're opening up these opportunities to people. They are studying. So we're going to carry that cross ourselves. So it's important, I think, for you as a producer, the team, to understand that this is a journey. You can't just sprint through it. So there are going to be hard knocks, there are going to be disappointments, but we have to keep going. We have to keep going. That's what it takes. And slowly by slowly, people are going to come and see, either support the energy that they see, maybe the credibility of people involved, the more of them coming on board, and stuff like that. Think about it. We didn't have many corporate sponsors for My Fair Lady. And yet we went through it. We all felt the pain together. The financial pain, the falls, sleepless nights, and went through that. This year we have some. So we can't quit now. It's just progress. We're getting better.
It's progress.
So we have to not have all our ducks in a row in terms resource-wise, but unfortunately, the audience, the public, wants a perfect show. So we're going to have to absorb some of these shocks that may come out, and hold it. But it's going to get less and get better and better and better. That's the first important part. And as you know, we have, again, in a sign of crazy commitment, decided to have another show later this year.
Two shows in
a year. Can we pull it off? I hope we don't collapse. But since we are divine helpers.
Amen.
I'm telling you. I guess we are also being divinely helped to help.
It's a very challenging project. I mean, the 2 shows in 1 year
It is ambitious. Let's see.
But it just, for me, it was that, it partly answered the question I asked. What do we do after the show? So at least the people we're working with know, when we're done with this, we have another show to do. And what for me it does, it bridges their year from 1 year to the next. If they do 6 months here, then 6 months, they have a full year. And that's what you sit down in an office and get as a paycheck every month, January to December, is what you're creating in a way for this person. Because as they do this, they do their 2 productions a year, they're getting their paycheck. So that's why for me it excites me that we're getting bolder in what we want to do, because it's now fulfilling more. I mean, the fact that the cast is growing, it only means that we're in the right path. and we're encouraging this. There's that young person seated somewhere who really loves performing arts, but they're thinking, no, maybe for me it has to be medicine, or it has to be something in the legal fraternity, or I have to be a banker. And we're trying to say that we're creating the room for you now. You may be in your senior one right now, and we're saying that when you're ready, the industry will be ready to absorb you.
Yes, exactly.
The industry will be ready to absorb you. So don't give up. Keep practicing. Keep out what you're talented in. It's not that you should forget your talent and try to make yourself as a good speaker as Kabi might be, so that you can go to court and speak. No. Grow your talent, and as you get out, we're trying to build that industry to take care of you, to make you feel like, like this is actually an actual job that I'm actually doing.
And we actually, one time we were talking with KK and we were saying this process is trying to move money from one industry
to another.
Yeah. Because there's, there are industries where money is seated somewhere,
Yes.
wondering what to do with itself.
Yes.
And we need that money to move from there to actually move into the pockets of these creatives. Because another thing, when we put the philanthropic cause, it's for us to be able to highlight it. There's a way of saying, let's have a PowerPoint on Special Olympics.
Yeah.
We could do that, right?
Yeah.
But we are using music, dance, and drama to highlight that. And so I know there's a time I actually got a small gig some years ago from some scientific research project. They had this conference at the Serena with all these scientists, doctors, all sorts of people were in that room, and they wanted to disseminate some information in an interesting way. And with a few friends, still my partner Della in Timeless Arts, together with a few friends, we put together some songs and some little dances.
Can you imagine a song with some, did they have scientific formulas or something?
Yes, seriously. And we went in there and we did this performance and they were blown away. Yeah, because it was just a different way of putting information out there. And so the same thing can be done for so many organizations. They're looking for what to do, even we're talking about your end of year party. Making it more interesting.
I have an idea already.
You have an idea. And artists are looking for small opportunities like that add up. Many of those adding up to become something bigger and cover the whole year, so that someone has something to eat every single day. It's just that small, because they're not asking for too much. Artists are not asking for too much. They just thrive on shining and being the very best performers that they could ever be. And that is what we are looking for. We are looking for people to do exactly that. And helping us support this, right?
Listen, for me, Chris has hinted on it, about that young boy somewhere who is probably going to be asked what he wants to do. And he's probably going to think, well, I just have to be a lawyer or something as an alternative. I think for me, we were talking about earlier, the measure of success for me of this project, the day I think we showcase a locally produced, a locally written play. So young boy out there, young man, young lady, if you are a writer, write. One day there was a time when this country flowed with writers. The story is, you and I went to the same school. I don't know whether you found the story that Okot Fibitek locked himself in his room and wrote out his book, I don't know which one, when he was just in S5. So, guys, write. That's what we're trying to do. And we are, when you finally have your product, we're going to be here to showcase it, so you don't have to go through what Karen and her predecessors have had to go through. We're clearing that path for you, and we're also looking to that day when you can sit at a table like this and talk about how you're helping other people. That for me is what I am working for. I am keen to see our Ugandan stars. I was amazed. The music director for the My Fair Day Lady last year, I don't remember his name. He sings on the cruises, right?
Yes.
He goes, you know, sings out on their cruises. So we don't know
Outside
that.
Uganda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lead character for the play had never acted before. He had escorted his sister, is that right?
Actually, his sister was the director. We were still looking around for actors, and we were thinking of, we decided to go this route because we had done the auditions and we had not found the lead character. And so we started by asking, who do we know who speaks really well?
Wow.
That's where it started. Said, "Who do you know anyone who speaks really well?" Yes, we were just looking for someone who enunciates and speaks their English really well. So that's how that started.
Because of the character.
Yes, so because the character needed to speak well. And so that's how he then came in for an audition.
But he nailed it.
Yes.
In Wazi Diamond.
Yes,
He
Wazi
nailed
Diamond,
it.
yes.
He nailed it. I don't know. I wish I could see more and more of him, you know, wherever he is. But what next for him?
Yes.
So we also need to elevate him. You know.
And for me, that was the sadness of My Fair Lady ending.
Yes.
I attended the last show of My Fair Lady. I happened to be around and I attended the last show. And I promise I teared. Thank goodness the National Theatre.
But yes, you mentioned that.
It felt like it was the end of something so beautiful that you gotten attachments to the producers, to the actors, to the actresses. You've gotten so attached to them, and then you're like, it's ending. This is it.
Yeah.
What next? And we started asking ourselves that question
What
immediately.
And I can
What
tell
next?
you that Della and I went into a depression.
Yeah.
A serious
'Cause you feel
depression for months because we finished in May, at the beginning of May.
Yes.
Between May and September, when we finally confirmed that we're doing the Phantom of the Opera, I can tell you we were depressed. Totally, seriously, serious, down and out.
Yeah.
Because then we had to ask ourselves questions. Because when you do this kind of work, you could have a few side hustles here and there, but you can't really do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So we had debates of, do we now go and just get 9 to 5s and get serious with our lives? Because that's why
this is serious.
It is serious. It is serious, but people think that we are not serious. And people think, there are times people have said, what does Karen really do? Like, she's so unserious. Like, what's she doing with her life?
Yeah.
And yet, the amount of work we do in this production, we can barely sleep.
Exactly.
Barely. We have to tell ourselves when we get home that past a certain hour, past 10, we are not talking about the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Or tell ourselves on Sunday we are not talking about this because the amount of work is too much. But we slipped into a depression, and so many actors did too.
Yeah.
Because they did not know what to do next. So when the audition call went out, for so many people it was a beacon of hope.
A beacon of hope.
Yeah, so you can imagine.
And that's what, for me, it's what keeps me going. I mean, for me, even just the narrative of, you know, not to pick on that, but what does Karen do? Should we go and get 9 first? And, you know, this is a job.
Yes,
it is a job.
It's a job that needs just as much commitment as that 8 to 5 in that air conditioning. It's probably even more because after 5, the rest of us, you know, knock off and go into the bar, chill out, relax. Weekend, we're doing nothing.
Not quite for the producers.
Not quite for you guys, yes, but for the average corporate, right?
No, not quite for you because it continues. You know,
It goes on and on. And you're awake and you're chasing timelines, and there's no room not to be ready for that timeline. So for me, it's just even the sadness when I teared at My Fair Lady. That tear was coming from the fact that I had seen these characters, I had loved their singing, their acting, everything about them. I told guys, even right now, actually, I was listening to My Fair Lady because that playlist got stuck. My daughter knows all the songs because when you sit in the car, she knows the songs that are going to play. It's because you then wonder, am I going to see more of them? You know, when you watch a Vin Diesel movie, you know that the next Vin Diesel movie comes out, I'll be, you know, but we haven't yet gotten to that point where we're thinking, there's a play produced by Karen. Oh my goodness, this is just it. And that's where we need to get to. We need to get to a point where we begin to give these actors and actresses an identity.
Yes.
Where people actually get attached, where we say, saying from the producers of A, B, C, D, that draws people. And people are beginning to notice that, it's timeless arts. And now they're attaching the quality to timeless arts, which is good. So we're making the right steps. When you see actors and actresses coming back, then we're doing the right thing. We're getting that commitment. They're beginning to think that maybe I can actually do this as my gig.
Yes.
I mean, that guy is seated somewhere, probably posting transactions or, you know, balancing ledgers or writing.
You're just receiving letters and
Yeah, just
stamping
receiving
them.
and
He's a
stuff. And he just
receptionist.
feels like this is not me.
Yeah.
But when he comes here, he's so alive. When you see these guys, they are so alive.
Yes. Yes.
But why should we box everyone into these careers?
Yes.
Because that's what we know. We should allow them to blossom, and that's when we get the most value out of people.
And that's what I believe executive producing is about.
Yeah.
It's about creating opportunities for people to thrive as who they are meant to be.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fit into a box, because that's what's going to help them have a semblance of the life that everyone thinks they should have. Some of us have had to really just fight the odds and fight with family, which to this day goes like, I've made a phone call, go to internal affairs and have a meeting with so and so to get you a job. Like I've had a lot of that happening for years in my own life, because everyone is wondering what exactly I'm doing. But in this process, we've had people come to us from our productions and say, because of being involved in this production, I can go and say boldly, I can walk into a room and say, I am an actor.
Yeah.
Like I can do that. Someone says, I used not to be able to do that, but I can do that now. And if I'm asked for my resume and what I have done and what I have achieved, I have something to show.
Yeah.
And there's evidence. And I can say that I have this to show, and it's an international production. You know, that I'll say I was in My Fair Lady, I was in the Phantom of the Opera, and now internationally, someone can actually listen to me because I have been able to do this. And people need to understand that that is what an executive producer does. They create opportunities by looking for funding and looking for resources to support the arts. We've had, for example, now we are working with the Special Olympics Uganda. We are trying to support Special Olympics Uganda. That's what we are doing. And I've walked into offices and asked for help. And people thought, we don't have money. And I've said I did not ask for money. For example, we've wanted for the longest time to do a medical camp, but it's been impossible. So we were looking for doctors to come in, you know. We would look for a few resources here and there to set up some tents. Set up some tents and then have these doctors come in, do some checkups and all that, because persons with intellectual disability have a lot of medical challenges. So when you look at something like that, and you're a doctor who has your fellow doctors, you can go and help these people, because in that moment, maybe someone was about to go blind. And just because you checked them and then you made a few phone calls here and there, now they can see better. Things like that. We've approached people. We are having conversations with restaurants to supply food for the time that we are going to be at the theater. Because a group of 135 people at the National Theater for 9 days, imagine feeding them. Can you imagine that? And someone has a restaurant and we're saying we're not asking for money. You can give us
You can give us the food.
It doesn't have to be your favorite meal, Caribbean jack chicken or something. No, you can create a little package.
You can put something together.
Something simple that is not too expensive. That is what we're looking for, and so we are appealing to people out there to do the same. And in this moment, I'd like to ask each of you to put out your appeal.
Well, I think before I do that, Karen, is to challenge producers like you to think differently, to find executive producers or people that are ready to play that role and open up their networks. Stop asking for money. It's more than that. Be bold enough to walk into a room and say, look, I'm a producer, I'm an actor. I mean, the more of you the world gets to see, the quicker we are going to be to accept that this is a respectable profession of your own. So I want to put that challenge out there to actors, to writers, to producers, you know, just do what Karen is doing. Walk into a room and stop introducing yourself as a businessman, because really you know who you are. So do that. Reach out, identify your network of friends that can walk this journey with you. You've talked about Special Olympics, and you rightly say that people that have intellectual disabilities, as you know, are already quite challenged.
Yes.
Just as they. I think for me, it's a little more than that. You know, you want to understand the unit of the family.
Yes.
And the kind of stigma that they suffer for having, you know, a child with, or a person with such challenges. We've had stories of, you know, families with the people with disabilities being locked up, not families, but the children, you know, mistreated, locked up with dogs, and, you know, it's all like a terrible, terrible thing. Some of these stories we get to hear. And yet these are also God's children. They have other talents too. They deserve a life of quality of some sort.
Yeah.
So you want to be thankful for a body like Special Olympics that reaches out and gives you, you know, the necessary counseling to accept, you know, the gift that you have and explore opportunities for that child's development as a human being. We're all going to appear before a God one day, whether we believe it or not, to whom we will account.
Yeah.
And we can't postpone that event when it happens. And it's important that, you know, for people, for families that have people with intellectual disabilities that are given this opportunity to come, you know, to be, can I say, healed, counseled, to accept these challenges that we have.
Yeah.
And therefore, the people like us, you know, Karen and the producers and other producers of this, to give this platform to Special Olympics to spread its messages out there.
Yeah.
What it does, it's unfortunate we don't have someone for Special Olympics here. I hope you'll have a time, yes, to give you an idea of how daunting this task is, because they can't reach too far. Because of resources as well.
Yes.
And you know, when we say resources, everyone thinks and hands, like you call it, feet, hands, you know, presence, what I call presence. So yeah, you know, my appeal to you is, you know, work with us to help Special Olympics spread out its message and reach that family that is struggling with its anger with God, guilt and soul. Yeah, asking themselves why, and to say it's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I hope you can join us in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'll say my call is a call to action. Like I said, we all, I mean, Special Olympics is something that probably not many of us are aware of, right? But when you see these guys actually in sports, I think we put out a video that had a small snippet of them at their game. They're giving it their all. You know, they're challenged, but that hasn't stopped them to even think that they can do this, that they can win that gold medal. And that's what makes it so special. But you had the opportunity to be part of it. You had the opportunity to put that little girl, that little boy on that podium, and they win that gold medal. And you can actually feel, you know, like you've added to it. But you probably didn't know how you can do it. And we provided that platform. So it's not about, look, it's about the money, because everything needs financing at some point. But it's not only about the money. You could get involved, hands and feet. Karen said we need food for the cast, costumes. You could help with the logistics. You could have a company, you could have your employer, you could have yourself. You do certain. You can come and actually speak to us, provide those services. I always say that every service you get offsets a budget line. Yeah. There's a budget line you get rid of.
Exactly.
If you're moving people from A to B, if someone says, I'll give you the fuel, you strike out fuel.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
So it's and that's how people need to think about sponsorship. And most of our sponsors, apart from a number of them have actually given us in kind and provided those services. And that has allowed us to strike out certain budget lines.
Yeah.
And little by little, that the financial task gets less daunting. But what becomes more daunting is a human resource to keep, keep the task going, the networks running, and so on and so forth. And that's where our call to action is. as people out there, you could be part of this group. It's not, and the EP, it's not just me and KK. It's just that this table or this interview.
Could only sit.
Yes.
But there's
a whole team.
There's another team behind it, and probably we'll see them at the.
Amazingly, by the way, out of the country, you are a resident out of, and Kinsey is out of the country. You know, so I mean, this level of commitment is really outstanding. Yeah.
And it just shows that you can do it. I mean, definitely being out of the country, it's hard because you're not as connected anymore. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And so if someone can do it seated away, why can't you?
Outside Uganda,
yes. Why can't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's just that commitment that needs to be done. But you're not only changing the actresses' lives, but also the causes. And that's something that I also pay special attention to. It was first mental health awareness, then mental health awareness in girls
and women,
which is a very, it's a very different kettle of fish if you think about it. Yes. And now we've gone into, Special Olympics. So the causes are very, they're inspiring.
Yeah.
It's not just, we don't just pick a cause, it's a cause that inspires you to, it's a call to action. Yeah. And I think we should hit that call to action. You could show up for the shows, you could open the doors for the production team to come and meet the right people. You could provide the service, or you could come and act yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a call to action. Yeah.
One of the actors last year was a lawyer.
Yes.
Oh, another was a doctor.
So we've had them, yes. We have, and right now on the cast, we actually have a doctor again.
Oh, again, there we go.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, we have many professions actually. Yeah. And I think one thing that we had not touched, I know we are signing out and all, and we've already put our call to action out there. But like we said, I just wanted to touch on two things. We said we are moving resources from one side to another. And so the actors are using their talent to help highlight another area of life. But also, in order for us to do what we are doing to change the industry, we're changing theater, we're changing entertainment, we're changing the terrain of social causes. We're doing so much in all those areas. One of the things that Timeless Arts has been blessed and privileged to have is the support of KK as a lawyer to help us get ourselves in order.
Yes.
Artists need to get themselves in order. Like, we have to have our companies registered.
Yes.
We have to have our taxes done.
Get your
We have
copyright
to have our
sorted.
copyright sorted and all that, because then we are able to attract the right kind of support.
Yes.
Because if your books are not in order, you're not going to get certain corporate entities and big support coming in. Even if it's getting a grant, for example, everything needs to be in order. And that's another thing. That's another area that we've been supported. The EPs have supported us to be able to do. So when you look at the scope of support that an executive producer can bring, it is massive.
It's massive.
It is massive, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's just often, use your network again. Use your network. That's what it is. This we could do in-house. And it's just amazing at how much some people don't know, really, because they have not interfaced with that, with that particular area of interest. So the whole idea of starting a company and so on and how it should look like was really a lesson.
Yes,
it was a lesson.
We had done some random registrations, but there was so much. There was so much more. We are creatives, so we are not. Every creative, I believe, first of all, you must think of yourself as a business and a brand.
Absolutely.
And you must have the right things in place to represent that. So we are not money people. We are not registration people. Like, we don't know any of that stuff. So we needed someone.
It's not your expertise. So
not at all. So we needed people to come in and help us deal with that.
And right there is a call to action. I mean, you could have a legal firm that has said, as long as it's creative arts that you're involved in, we're happy to guide you on how to set up.
Exactly. Yes,
pro bono.
So much. Yes, pro bono being the key word. And then after some time, after we've learned to pay our taxes, after we start making some money, still you can charge us a small fee.
You can start
but I think there's some benefits you could get, like free tickets maybe.
for production.
Yes, we could give you some free tickets. So
It's not very big by any measure, but I'm sure for something that's just starting out. Why not?
Okay, so this conversation has been amazing. I hope that the artist out there has picked something, but we also hope that those who are willing to open their networks have picked something. And for those who had never thought about it, we believe that this is an opportunity for you to step in and join us, because we are trying to make a difference, not just in the entertainment industry, but to so many social causes out there.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we are grateful. We at Timeless Talk, first of all, are grateful for this conversation, but Timeless Arts and the artists who we work with are grateful that you've given us an opportunity to work. We will never, ever be able to thank you enough for that.
Yeah.
And the best thanks we can give you is to keep on going and never give up. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Cheers.
from us here at Timeless Arts, it's goodbye.